Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well, and this will be a video out for everyone, so I do hope you enjoy it. And if you do, as always, I ask if you want a part two, to make sure you support the readings and leave a comment. You can interact during the live. I'm on most of them because if anyone wishes to interact, and but leaving a comment afterwards helps videos get out, and helps me continue to feel motivated to put the content out as well. So with this, I plan to do it 3 parts, and it's only just been brought to my attention a few days ago, so depending on when you see this, it might be a bit more than a few days. Members, or whoever becomes a member, will have early access. Make sure you check your tiers. There's exclusive Patreons as well. This came to my attention as I was just scrolling through YouTube, and for the past 2-3 days I've not been left alone. And what happens with this, until I actually do it, I will not be left alone. By spirit, by the pushing, the anxiety, etc. I don't know anything about this case. I'm going to go along with you. The way I'm planning to do it here is I plan to share with you some of the channeling. So if you know, the way I channel is sometimes I'll just put the camera on and I'll do a little bit of channeling there and then, no pre-channeling. And if I want to go into a full channeling, I try to do it off camera because I get really anxious. The camera's on, people are waiting. I don't like wasting people's time. I know that a lot of people probably go on with 3 hours, 6 hours while they get downloads. People are watching, and if you don't mind that, that's fine. I'm just always anxious, or very conscious that there's people waiting to hear what I'm channeling, and so I'll connect a little bit prior, like I did with this one, or I go on camera and I channel a little bit and then I stop the channeling. Obviously, the more I channel, the more I get out, yeah? So you would have seen that. So for example, the most recent one would have been maybe the Lacey Peterson case, where I was channeling, the images were coming through, a lot was coming through. If I took a couple of minutes to wait for more downloads, it would have been fine. And I think I mentioned I'm nervous, but it wasn't the case of being nervous. It was like trying to connect with the channeling, seeing what I'm seeing, which is fine, but also then just being conscious that we want to get through the reading. Maybe I should just ease up on that and not be so, I can't say thoughtful, but what can I say, not so caught up on other people. Do you understand what I'm saying? So with this, the way it came to me is, and by the way, if I keep calling the person Brian, for some reason the name Brian wants to come out as opposed to the name. The name is Kyron, okay? I know it's probably in the United States, okay? A case in the US. I don't know anything. What I know is what I've got downloads. It came up on YouTube, missing Horman, and I didn't click on anything, and I saw his picture. He's got glasses, he looks about 5 years old. There was nothing in the thumbnails, so what I did is I got his name, Kyronhorman. So if I say Brian, I apologize, but every time I want to say Kyron, Brian wants to come through. So I don't know if Brian was a name they were considering to call him, and it's Brian with a Y. And sometimes it's kind of like just swap the K with a B instead. And then I'm like, is it Brian or Brian? Like, why can I still see the O, but then it's Brian? There's something to do with that. There's some reason for that. I don't have a Brian around me to get confused. And Brian can be spelt with a Y or an I, but I see it with an a Y, because it's like the same as Kyron. So interesting name, right? I wonder what Kyron means actually. I'm getting told. So then I entered it on YouTube. I just entered his name, and the things that came up as thumbnails were from mainly 7 years ago, 4 years ago, 1 year ago, and then this one that was about 2-3 weeks ago, I think, or something like that. And I thought, with it being 2-3 weeks ago, this might still be a case unsolved somehow. I'm just checking what Kyron means. I presume it's like a Greek god or something. Sounds very powerful. Kyron is a masculine name of an Irish Gaelic origin whose roots may stretch to the shores of Greece, meaning little, dark or black. Kyron derives from Kyron and certainly conjures up a brooding, mysterious figure. In Islam, Kyron is an Arabic name that has a deep meaning and positive significance on a baby. Kyron name meaning victorious and means holds celestial positive qualities. It often carries religious and cultural significance. Obviously, I don't think from the look of the boy they're Arabs or they're derived from Islam. What is also interesting is, you know, I got a download. According to a user from the United Kingdom, the name Kyron is a Greek origin and means king, god, master, ruler, leader. So, Kyron is a Christian baby boy name. Its meaning is unknown. So, I mean, there's various stuff. It definitely looks like it originates back to Greece. But what I'm also getting, do you know Kyron, the, you know that I do, I'm going to take my time, right? Because often I just feel like I need to continue talking. If I tell you, wait a moment while I just check something, I'm very like, I'm very conscious of people's time. I respect people's time and I expect the thing back, and that's why, but that's not how spirit works, and I just need to take a moment, right? Kyron, when I do in astrology, so I do life coaching, and I don't advertise that I do it. It's interesting, I'm losing my voice, okay? Okay, so I do need to look up his Kyron in his chart. So once we get to his date of birth, let's just write that down. I'm just going to leave this for part 2 of Lacey in case people want it. I've not had any votes for part 2 of Lacey Peterson. But then we'll go here for Kyron. Kyron in his charts. Because I don't know his date of birth. I don't know anything yet. I don't know his age. He looks like he's around 5 or 6. And if he's 6 or... I give him maximum 7, but he's like a small version. And no disrespect there. Like a petite more. Why I'm saying petite more, I'm going French. Version. He looks, I can't see the full picture, I only saw the glasses. And Kyron in astrology is your wounded healer. So when I do the natal chart coaching with the life purpose coaching or any coaching, I look at these aspects, but then I also look at your human design, because I believe in that. So Kyron is where our wounded healer is, and it's interesting because it's said the same, it's spelt differently, so we will definitely look at that. This part 1, is going to be more or less, and it might be split into 2 parts, so it might go part 1, part 2, but it's one thing that I've wanted to do, channeling the cards, what's happened. And then part 2 is going to be the facts, and part 3 is the location, all right, honing in a bit more on the location. So you might say, well, how do I know this person is missing? Because I've already thought of this. That 2-3 weeks ago, person, whoever it is, I don't know if it's a true crime podcast, could be covering an old case, right? Could be covering someone who's still not missing. We know at least that it's 7 years old. And what I did is I was looking at his picture, connecting to his picture, and like I said, I have not been left alone by spirit, and I've been able to channel, but I stopped. Downloads coming in, 5 minutes I sat from Kyron, right? So I know he is, unfortunately, if people think probably not, he's still alive somewhere. I'm not God, but I don't think so. I've channeled him, right? I've been able to channel him, and I think I can do a full channeling with him. Just taking a moment to pause. I looked at his picture with the one with the glasses, and I'm just going to look at another one. And like I said, I felt there's a disconnect, and then I was just easily able to channel him. So that's why I believe this is a case where it's regarded missing, but you know, something after a long time is a cold case, but I don't think they've got any updates. So I've got his picture here. I don't feel there's any there's no life, right? This is what I know from when I look into pictures and energy. So this is an age progression of him. Ooh. The heat of the candle there, can you see? So we're going to go on. What I did is, because I was on the go, it's similar. A couple of weeks ago, I had Maddie McCann come through, and often I don't want to say the name, but because it's a sensitive case, and she's quite passive. So I was driving and I had to do voice notes, and that's something that I'm going to release. I need to just put it all together. With this, I took notes on my phone as I was getting downloads wherever I was. Okay. This kid, okay, like I said, he's probably between 5 and 7. If he's probably a bit of a petite 7 or something. I'd give him about a 6. So he might be a 7, he might be a 6. This was 100%. I don't know the year yet. We're going to go along with what I'm channeling, and then we're going to look up a bit more detail as we go along and get the cards out. This was 100% in summertime. Why? And I believe he's in a wooded area. So the vision I got was the first vision when I thought, will I do this case? Will I cover this case? Is woods, is trees, is forest. And it's not like it could also be a park. I don't know how the parks are in the US. Here in England, we've got various types of parks. We've got parks that have a load of trees, but then we tend, as they get bigger and there's more trees and stuff, we tend to call them woods. And if they've got no, you know, if they're a bit larger. And some parks, the trees are trimmed down because you get a lot of like homeless people or people just sleeping in the trees, doing things in the trees. And it can be a bit not nice if you've got to walk through the park to maybe get a shortcut to your home and you can't see anything and it's getting dark, like safety. So I believe a lot of parks in certain towns, cities, and I don't know where this is in the US. I don't know what country it is. I feel it's the US. And when I was feeling into it, I get more a West Coast, like a West. I get the word West Coast basically. I have no idea in terms of where all states are. I just know that like Washington is probably this way, more that way. West is probably nearer to California. I don't think it's California, but I get West Coast. I get that side, right? Again, I could be wrong because I didn't set and specifically channel. I was just, after I knew I could connect to him, I was just taking notes of downloads. But the first ever thing I saw was he is in the forest or woods, or that is very significant. And it's summer and it's daytime. This was not done in the night, okay? I see the trees green. So basically what I was getting to, these are not trees that are trimmed down and quite bare or barren. These are trees that are glistening in green. And do you know what else was coming through? Do you know where you see the glistering of the sun rays coming down through the leaves to the ground? Okay, so this could be the location. This could also be just signs of me having, it is summer, trees, area is significant, and it could be the area itself. Okay, the state itself has trees, the area itself has trees, has parks, has forests, has woods. I feel like I feel like a good energy from this state, by the way. I don't think it's something that has a huge amount of crime. It could do, but it has a nice energy to it. I feel it like something on a beautiful day. You really want to go out and spend time in nature, and you can probably find woods, trees, but you might be able to find water. You'll be able to find water, whether it's a beach or not, I'm not quite sure. Definitely lakes. I do think there is a bay. But I don't know if it's like a beachy kind of, like, you know, how you see clear sands and stuff. I get like a lot around riding bikes, nice climate, eco-friendly, just a really good energy of this state. So it's going to be interesting once I try to find this out. So summer, the woods, the forests, definitely there. Then when I was tuning in a little bit more, this boy is quite a sensitive boy. I think he probably has a few allergic, do you know, allergic things, like, for example, maybe allergic to certain medicines, whether it's like a certain ingredient that could be in antibiotics or aspirins or something. He could be allergic to what other things can there be? Do you know some people are allergic to, do you know there's a vitamin from bees, I think it's polylus or something like that. Could be allergic to that kind of thing. He could be allergic to bees. Other stuff that's usually popular is like peanuts and stuff like that. So he has a couple of allergic sort of elements, okay? Let's just go with what I put on my phone. So the 3 parts, I mentioned what I would do. So you just need to vote on the parts. Like I said about Delphi, I think I have 1 vote to do Delphi part 2. We did part 2, now part 3. But there's no seems to be a follow-up. And then also Lacey and the other ones, it's really down to subscribers and obviously members. Members, you'll have early access to this one. But then subscribers, you still have videos that you're watching, and the more you support, I'm so thankful to you, but the more you support, it does help. All right, so even if we're interacting on the live premiere, if you can just drop any comment, any emoji. And in this one, I'm going to do similar to what I've done in previous reads, like Elijah Vu. I've done like a dinosaur with a heart. That's his kind of emojis. Put it in the comments. Sebastian, the green hearts. in this one, I'm going to come down to an emoji to put for Kyron. So even if you've interacted, but if you haven't interacted on the live, leave me a comment. You know, I always ask, what do you want to see? And so we've got sensitive, it's not barren, the sum of the trees, the glittering sun, morning, not night. There's something else that I had to download. Yeah, this is it, the second part when I was channeling. It seems like it's not a busy place, because, and this could be just him kind of blocking everything out, and it's kind of his higher self, right, that looks down at his body, and he's kind of like, it's kind of like silence. And do you know when there's, it's kind of like you can hear trees rustle, but you can't hear any noise, is muddled out, it's silent, and you might just hear like a cricket or a tree with a little bit of wind, but it's absolute silence. And he looks down at his body, and it's kind of sadness there, and he's like, this is it, and the sadness just fills, but somehow he knew or suspected there'd be a day where something like this would happen, or something wrong is going to happen, and it was kind of his higher self that knew this, and there was a feeling, and I won't be surprised if he spoke to, so I don't think his parents are together, he's spoken to someone, either one of his parents or a grandma or something. I'm going to get into the people in a moment. Disclaimer, this is for entertainment purposes only. Please use your own fact finding. And he felt like this would come, and he's kind of mentioned the trouble that was occurring to someone. I feel like it's a female. So if he wasn't living, I don't get he's living with his biological mother. I actually feel there's a big absence of his biological parents here. And I think, I don't want to say, but this could have been a little bit avoided. I think there's an absence of the biological parents. I'm going to leave that at that. And I think he's spoken to either a mother or a grandmother about some concern or something, and he's kind of like looking at the body, but it was a feeling, but it wasn't a feeling on that day. Do you understand? It was a feeling that we were starting to get, and he looks down at the body, and it's like, what do I do now after his soul is left? It's looking down at his body. And he's left feeling very all alone, and I feel that feeling he was starting to feel, that's why I see the abandonment of biological parents, their absence, and this could be work, there could be a split, a divorce. I do get that there's a split between them, but we'll dive in a moment. Before we point, I'm not pointing fingers. There was also something about teeth, and there was also something about punched in teeth or something. I don't think he had his teeth punched in, or that this was the way he, you know, I don't think he was B-E-A-T-E-N. I don't think he was beat up. I'm trying to be careful because it needs to go on YouTube. But there is something about punched teeth from the person that was involved in this, all right? Or if he had his, also it could be he's had a football bang his teeth or something like that. And the other person, it could be that they're just into boxing or something. There's something about punched teeth here, but this is not him being, what I'm trying to say, he was not beat, I'm saying it again, right? Up, right? He was not. I don't get that. And then I got a download. He was saying to me that there's a lot of random things that they can piece together that will not be so random. So it seems like there's a lot of scattered things that might be questionable, but if they piece them together, it will lead to the outcome. The pieces of the puzzles are there. It's not also random of misfits of what they feel. Everyone feels like there's misfits or stuff. Okay. Then I had a download for the US elections. I've got here Kyron Brian coming in. So before I go on with the rest of what I was getting downloads, daytime, but it wasn't dead early. Like, you know, a lot of them is kind of like the person was reported missing on this day X time on the morning, and something could have happened at night or day before. No, I feel like it was actually that morning as well. And I don't know what the morning is yet. I don't know what month. I don't know what year. Like I said, I think it goes back to at least 7 years because that was what I saw. But I do believe it's summer. I could be wrong. And I'm not God, right? So what I channel is what I get. I am seeing like a father figure, and that's had a big influence on the way things have panned out. I don't necessarily say he's involved. There's an absence, a very big absence of the maternal mother. Like she's in the background somehow, but the father's at the forefront. But it's kind of like he's not paying attention. So I don't know if he's busy, he's focusing on himself or something. But there's a disconnect there of being in the child's life like a father every day. Like, hey son, let's have, dinner at the table together. I'm also getting that they already have someone that they rarely suspect in this. So I wonder if the step parent's involved in here, because there's a disconnect. There's an absence of the biological parents in this kid's life, right? The way he needs it. And I'm not sure what day it is, but I do see like there's it's not feeling like, it's feeling like a day where something is planned and there's a timing. So if, like in a school day, you wake up, have breakfast, get ready, need to go to school starts at this time, so everything happens like that. But it doesn't feel so formal. It feels like it's kind of like either they have like a set up event that might include other kids, a place they need to get to, but it's not kind of like if you don't attend, you're going to be marked absent, going to call the parents. It's not so strict. It's not so, what can I say? It just feels a bit more gentle and playful for some reason. So I'm not really sure what day this is. I think Venus is heavily involved in this, which could mean a female, and it could even mean certain days. And I have my eyes closed if you're wondering. It just feels like it's bringing me back to also a connection with the way I see the state, like bikes and just a good climate. And I just see a girl riding a bike. I see kind of like a small ferry wheel. So I don't know if this is meaning that there's like What could it be? I don't know what the date is to check if it's a school day or not. This boy was a sensitive kid. He could have been like quite geek buff or sciencey. He could be a character, but I feel like he's more grounded and a bit more shy than, for example, wanting to be an actor or creator. But he might do at home, you know, he might just come forward and do a cartwheel or something. I don't know why I'm getting that. He obviously wears glasses. We've seen that in the pic. Or he did on the airplane. Should we get into the cards? So this happened outside, a beautiful day or beautiful time of the year. Okay, now the tarot doesn't want to tell me which card. I want to go for this one, but let's just make sure they're all upright. So let's just ask what happened, okay? Let me just check it's recording how much time I've got left so that I know if I need to split it into 2 parts. Because there's questions now that we need to ask while I channel, right? In the past, I've asked, do you like the longer readings or shorter sprout readings? Obviously, it's difficult to do 10-minute bites, and the vote was to have the longer readings. So let me know if that's also your preference. I dare say after I've done this, I'm going to get more and more downloads. I mean, I've got enough for 3 parts. But obviously the second, the facts, is going to be like a true crime. We go through everything. So if you're interested in following this case, make sure you vote to have that. I definitely will be doing it. I mean, it could be on the members if subscribers are not really fast. But I do want to, if I'm correct, and this boy is not, the case is not solved, I do want to make sure maybe, you know, sometimes I really hate putting out the energy of the location, but then a lot of people do, and, you know, it might just help. Nothing wrong with checking the location. So I'm just covering the main things in the first that I wanted to download. Just like there's kids, there's people there. Do you know what? It could be a sports day. Because I don't feel like we're going to the amusement park, because that can be like, okay, we've got to head out at 10, but like if you're 10 minutes late, it's not so bad. This is if you're 10 minutes late, no, we've got to be there, but it's not like you're going to get detention or something. It's not as informal as a weekend, but it's not as formal. I don't know. Okay, so let's see what happened, right? Bit disconnected today, apart from like the last 2 days, depending on when you see this. So 2 days really being bogged down, like sleeping, it's there, waking up, his name is there, and it's kind of like Kyron, but I see Brian. There's something about that name, Brian. I don't know if they wanted to call him Brian. And there's another baby girl that I'm seeing right now. There's a baby girl that I'm seeing. It's interesting. She's got like, do you know how toddlers are? I feel like she's a bit of a toddler. A bit of a toddler, meaning like she's around that age. She's got like, reminds me of when I was young. Do you know the small, I don't know if they still wear them. I think they do. Do you know like the little black shoes where it's got the buckle that runs down the middle and then it goes across and there's just two holes here. I don't know why I've forgotten the shoe. And she's got like a nice little dress on, but that could just be, and I see her from the back. Her hair is not dark brown. I want to say it's like more of a mousy brown color, and it's fine. And I don't know why I'm seeing like that. It's like pink and white she might be wearing. The shoes are blackish. How did I flipping knew? I knew it. I knew it. I should have called it out. I was like, I bet you the Queen of Wands comes out. I absolutely knew it. Someone in this energy, I'm not saying that there was SA, but someone in the energy. Let's continue. I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking, okay, in a moment. Definitely a female involved, okay? I already get, by the way, from the beginning that it wasn't a female's involved, but it wasn't, oh, I've got the cards here that I wanted to just do as an experiment. It wasn't only, I do feel like there's a male presence and there's another possible female. Someone else knows about this, apart from the person. Someone else was involved, someone knows. And I think it could be a male and a female. That, not that they suspect, they actually know, like they was involved, they helped or something, okay? Here comes fidgety. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to show like fire, so just hang on a sec. I don't like it when the wick goes to a certain angle. If you've been a subscriber, you know. Okay, so Spirit is showing me that he liked frogs, but it's not any frog. It's like, I wonder if there's a frog here. I would have thought this should have a frogs, don't you think? Look at this. This is such a nice, lovely, look, there's water, there's the greenery, there's the trees, there's the bees, look, that I said probably maybe allergic or stuff. There's the nature. There's, yeah, it's not like a little, it's not like a brown frog or a toad or whatever. It's like, do you know, like the Amazon frogs? I should say tropical frog, right? There's something about that. So I wonder if he likes tropical frogs or something. Yeah. So I've got a confirmation of that. I think he did like frogs, but I don't feel like he was, I'll get back to the frogs, right? I'll get back to the frogs. I don't feel like it's like major excitement, but it's like a bright frog. Do you know the ones that have either got yellow or red with them? So that might be our imagery. So let's just hold on that. But if I forget to say at the end of this part, add your comments. Let me know if you've been following this case from day one. And remember, if this part is split into two, then I will mention in the next part that I'm going to continue this reading, which means I still won't know as much. So a female is involved here, and some sort of a new chapter or something that she wanted in her life was not going to plan. Okay. There was a lot of anxiety, sleepless nights. There was paranoia happening here. You know what? I feel like, I'm just looking at this, but I don't want to say it yet. Yeah, it's come out. Even though I didn't ask for a totally different question. This is the father that's just disconnected, you know. I won't be surprised if he, I am getting, there's the mother and there's a stepmother, okay? I think the father was a bit of a, allegedly, immature, selfish person. I think there was a lot of, both sides, maybe they got together, stepmom and stepdad, around sex energy, like that kind of stuff, and then they got married. The mother is here. The father's just like I said, I think there's an absence. Maybe he's always busy working, focused on himself, not paying attention. I think there's suspect of an affair, okay, a third party here. Obviously, we're looking at what happened to Kyron, but still. And there could be things on the phone that proved there was suspecting of a third party, or a third party happened. I mean, this could even mean that we'll go into the mother's energy, but it could mean that he was with the mother and he cheated with the stepmother, or with this person who I feel is like a stepmother, because I feel like, I don't think he was left alone totally in the house, but the father's not, is kind of like not there. The mother is separate as well. She's somewhere else. So I don't know where this boy is living. But there's past third party affairs, and I think there's suspecting third party affair in the current energy of what happened to Kyron. Like, this can be impacts, right? It could be just the energy that's going around, right? It doesn't mean that Kyron, this is what's involved, but I'm panning out the story, if you know what I mean. So this is definitely something. Now, was done in the morning. And look, woods, forest, obviously there's mountains, but yeah, I do think he's in a forest, in a mountain, in woods or something. And it was done in the morning. And I wonder if it was thought of in the morning, if it was kind of planned to be done in the morning. Hang on a sec. Let me just change the question. I don't get that it was thought of being done to Kyron. Maybe I should just... So someone did something to Kyron to end his life, right? I don't get that it was planned ahead or thought of to be done months ago, right? Because I thought maybe it was thought of a couple of months ago to do this to Kyron. It wasn't thought of a couple of months ago. There's a horse sticking out for me for some reason. Another question. It was planned that morning. And there could be communication that occurred. So I think this, you know what, let me just change the question a moment. So could this be revenge because there was a third party going on? I just feel the mother is disconnected. So is it a third party she found out? And let's go into, on that same day that Kyron, so it wasn't an accident, he's not missing, I've channeled him, someone did this to him, and it's a female. It was done in the morning time. It was thought of quite early in the morning, so probably when they were getting ready. Can I just take this back because I want to ask the question again as the cards come out, and I'm getting told I can go to the other deck. Okay. Oh, I'm getting told to come here. Don't know what I'm going to forget my question though. These cards are what I've created until I can get like a conspiracy theory deck or something. I'm going to take them, what I feel resonate, I will take psychically, okay? So I'm not necessarily eliminating, and I'm not going to be making up. I can see that probably people make up like, oh, this must mean there was someone of this. No, okay? So if I feel it doesn't connect, because imagine all these cards, they're not going to connect to, like, royal family is not going to connect, right? So I'm not going to make up, oh, there was a royal family or something, so, okay? So I just want to see if I get confirmations, anything I've said. Deep, okay. Do I take that? Yes. Witness. So someone's seen something. It could be either they've seen him that morning, they've seen whoever he was with that morning. Obviously, I don't know what happened. There's a third party. I said there's other people involved. Other people, there's only 2 other people involved, right? And remember I said third party, so that I do think one of the big causes of this is an nefarious energy, okay? I think that's related to the third party, because I said third party exactly, didn't I? Projection. So this could be, I'm not going to take those. I'm going to take the first one. Don't know what they were. It could be because of revenge, third party revenge, which was the energy I was getting. Truth will come out. Selfish greed. I felt like this could be both energies, that extra female, or whether it's a stepmother, also the father, I'm sorry, disconnected. I was going to get this. I was getting that so much. I think he was given something, even something he was allergic to, so it doesn't look so obvious. And then he was placed where he was. I believe it's forest, woods area. It's saying deep. Now, I'm not sure if it's there deep within or it's deep grave, but I 100% felt this, and I was just getting to it. That's why I was like, what have I channeled prior? It could be connected to what he's allergic to, right? So something that could maybe sense his throat closing off if he's allergic to something. It could be something to just make him unconscious, and that's how he's passed away. Feel very itchy on my forehead and nose at the moment. He was alive when he was poisoned. Cover up. So some of the story is definitely covered up. Maybe whereabouts. I'm getting like, do you know how you do it, but then you start doing like other stuff, like, oh, I'll go here as my normal day plan, I'll drive to here. So things to cover it up. And it could also be around, yeah, so witnesses cannot track, and also probably cover up of the thing. I'm presuming no one's been caught, because obviously the case, no one's been proven. Night is significant. It's interesting, I put it here, so I wonder if, let me just check something. Deception and lies. I wonder if something happened in the night. Maybe there was an argument between the, let's just see what ones these are a moment. I just want to make sure that I put the right things back. Okay. Maybe there was a argument. Something started off at that night, okay? And it could have led up until the very sunrise time. That's what I get with night. So far we've had a few things. I might use this again to describe the person. I think the person's got a bit of reddish tinge in their hair because of the card as well, and what I see. Long hair, to be honest. Long hair, which reminds me of Sebastian's mum. Okay, so what was I going to ask of this card? I get a no in that, but I feel like, well, that's my yes, so. Okay, so now we're going to go for, let's see the biological mum's energy. Three of Swords, not able to get past that past. So I feel she's holding a lot of guilt. This mother, his biological mother, is holding a lot of guilt and heartbreak. Even regarding like her energy in, or presence in, yeah. She feels like she was put in a position of feeling very hopeless, not able to help the situation, or maybe she wasn't able to be in his life, in Kyron's life. There's some reason why she's not present, and it's not, I feel like it's not a choice of hers. But at some stage, there was ability to be there. There was starting to be ability to be there, but she felt very held back. She loves him. So I don't know if they lived quite far apart. Yeah. I think she was hoping to end up having her son back with her. I don't think the relationship with the father was very good. I definitely think she was waiting for the time to have the son come back. I think there's a certain time where she was maybe waiting for her own family and have her son back, or she did get married again. I think she feels like the father had lied to her at a certain stage of time, and there's a bit of bitterness and resentment between them here, or her towards the father anyway. That's what I don't want to bring in the father yet when I, there's kind of manipulation, just being cold, calculating energy here at one stage. And maybe it's the resentment of how she felt to the father. High Priestess in reverse, very interesting. Concealment of stuff that was hidden, concealment with the King of Swords here around maybe some deception, some lies. Very interesting. She was keeping secrets. It could be that she felt the husband was keeping secrets. And I feel like she also felt some intuitive downloads which she wasn't listening to when it came to Kyron. So this could be that Kyron was giving her signs, telling her, and she didn't listen to it. You remember I said I think Kyron spoke to a mother or a grandmother. Like I felt like it was a female energy, like his bloodline. So it could be her. Let's look at the father's energy. Like I mentioned, I think I wonder if the father met this woman because of SEX energy, and then they made a relationship out of it. And I need to not forget that little toddler that I see. Show me. I might stop this here, and what I'll do is on the second part is pull up what I get, ask more questions, and then go into more questions. Ask, like, sort of pull up a little bit more information to see what actually connected here. We just got the Eight of Pentacles, but I can't remember if I was... It's him again. It's all about him. It's all about his attention, people paying him attention. The Eight of Pentacles was work as well. I do think he was just not very focused on children, really, on his... Okay, so unfortunately the video ended about 15 minutes into the last 15 minutes. I can't remember the cards that the father got, but in the next read, which is supposed, this next part of this, I'm going to look on, the dates, the state where it's at, who are they suspecting, and then questions about what I've just channeled psychically. I was mentioning on, the father is very focused, and I think a lot of it was around maybe he got with the mother or the stepmother or this new person for SEX. And I wonder if the toddler is their child or the woman's child from another relationship, which would be very new. I'm a bit annoyed because I lost that 15 minutes, but yeah, and this is mainly downloading. In future, hopefully, if the channel starts to perform and as it grows or something happens, I'm able to buy the investigation decks. They will also help kind of add a bit more flavor. I would probably presume a lot of tarot readers don't even use the tarot decks anymore, because really the conspiracy investigation really help you just do even smaller readings, and they just can tell the whole story, and it makes it a lot easier for people. Not will it ever mean that I will not psychically channel or download, but I think those decks will certainly help in the near future. And what I'm going to do is in the next one with you, look up some information like, you know, what state is this? What's the dates? What is Kyron's date? Who is the suspect? And tie in with what I've got to see if any of it's right. I am so peed off I've missed that 15 minutes. And that's why probably, because I can't really recap everything. I can't remember everything I've just done. A lot of it was channeling. Yes, I had some tarot, but a lot of what the tarot was bringing in, if I took the traditional meaning of tarot, or like if I was reading for a sign, it wouldn't be what necessarily I was stating. I don't know, did I cover the stepmom or did we miss that part? If we missed that part in this, that's going to be even annoying. The stepmom came up just in case. Her cards came up. She really was looking after the house. It seemed like she played the father role as well, like, you know, all together basically. She came out with the Emperor, the King of Cups, the Ten of Cups, and it just tells me the absence. It came up like if the kids were ill, she would attend to it, maybe make the pack up and stuff like that. That kind of energy, which tells me that, because I think this, I did the stepmother after the father, I've missed at least a good 20 minutes, not even 15 minutes. But it's fine, it's okay. And I'll just try to recap, and any cards that become repeating, I'll be able to point them out for you. I think I've got a good flavor who sits in what tarot cards as well for when we do the next part. And I'll do it on camera when I check, like, you know, when I type in Kyron, and I just want to say Brian again, kyronhorman, and get those dates, okay, and tie in with what I've channeled and psychically downloaded. It's like I want to repeat everything in terms of the cards I pulled for the dad and the stepmom, but you can tell in my voice I'm really upset that I lost that last 15-20 minutes. It takes energy, especially when the cards don't necessarily tell you. So I'll see you in the next one, and if you do want this to be covered, like I've said, in the 3 parts, which will be 4 parts now because we're going to ask questions about the next part, then make sure you support this, and we will eventually go through facts, and we will also go through possible location. Please do like, please do subscribe, please do put an emoji. For now, let's do the frog emoji, okay? We might change it for the next one, but let's do a frog emoji for Kyron. Do you know, when I see him the little boy, but it's kind of like he's not a little boy anymore, which is interesting because some spirit, I don't see them progress. I don't see them progress or grow. Like, for example, Maddie's very difficult to see her grow. I'll get into that more next time. I do know that I was saying towards the end, maybe now Spirit will leave me a little bit, but it's like, no, because I haven't finished this part and everything that needs to be said. So, but hopefully the pushing of recording is eases and I can sleep without Spirit coming through. Any downloads, I'll let you know. I've still got a lot of kind of things that I want to cover. And yeah, I'm not going to ramble on. I can't. In terms of the father's cards and mother's card, stepmother's cards, or the girlfriend or whoever, I think it's a bit more formal than a girlfriend. but I really want to get into knowing a little bit more so I can do some confirmations as well. But take care, like, share, subscribe, comment. You can join membership, you can join Patreon exclusives. We do lives there. The community will start growing. You do get early access, but you get exclusive content. I'm still trying to push out to subscribers. With your help, I can continue to do so, because obviously if views increase, likes increase, it makes sense to continue to put content on all the platforms, YouTube and Patreon, and anything and everything helps. And take care. Everything you need to know is always in the description box or in the bio in my page. And if you enjoy the content, if you join what I do, it's true, it's authentic. It might not be what you want. If you want some drama and conspiracy, or additional spice, the spice of life. Take care, everyone. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.